What's going on YouTube? Diggy546 and this is my second take with this video, but I mean, I am just I'm just so disgusted by what I see on a week to week basis with this defense. And this is gonna incorporate what I'm seeing from Brian Dable. Because this team is never coming out on a consistent basis. You can't come out a couple weeks in a row, but I'm just so frustrated I can't even put together a thought. This team consistently comes out here unprepared for the opponent. You got Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter and Brian Burns literally running upfield. Defensive tackles running upfield. Linebackers blitzing, running upfield past Christian McCaffrey, not even looking at the guy. Not even looking at the quarterback. Literally just running upfield. While they're tossing, while they're running tosses, while they're running up the middle. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? You got Corey Black and Deonte Banks out there, and we know they're not good. But what did Shane Bowen do? What did Shane Bowen do? What did our defensive coordinator do to protect those guys? What did he do as a defensive coordinator to manage the fact that he has two guys out there that shouldn't be out there? And I'm starting to be convinced. We scapegoated Jerome Henderson. We scapegoated Jerome Henderson. We scapegoated the guy. We fired Jerome Henderson and let Shane Bowen, the worst of all of the defensive coaches on the team last year, Shane Bowen was the worst, the defensive coordinator. The position coaches were not the problem. They weren't the problem. Because if you think about it, and you really think hard about it, was the secondary really playing that bad last year? Were they bad in the secondary last year? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think on an individual level, on a snap to snap basis, that guys were just playing bad. I don't think so. I think they developed pretty well. People say the Giants have a young secondary. They need to continue to develop. Were they playing that bad on the defensive line? Or was it that they had literally, if anybody, and listen, Jerome Henderson is, or not Jerome Henderson, Andre Patterson, and I may be getting the guy's name wrong because I'm just frustrated, but you guys get what I'm saying. Andre, the defensive line coach, is he's one of the more respected guys at that position. But if you were going to make a move, you would talk about the fact that we got all these defensive tackles that can't stop the run last year. None of those guys could do anything last year. But we scapegoat out of all people Jerome Henderson. That's the guy whose fault it was last year for the defense. That's the guy. And you know why? Because Deonte Banks is bad. That's why. Because Deonte Banks is bad under Jerome Henderson. He can't coach. Even though he's gotten all these guys here that were street cornerbacks, street free agents, and he's gotten all these guys out here ready to play and play competent cornerback 2 football on a consistent basis every single week the last couple years, but he's the problem. Meanwhile, Deonte Banks, who, Jerome Henderson ruined Deonte Banks. Meanwhile, Deonte Banks looks worse under Marquand Manuel. He looks worse. He looks worse under Marquand Manuel. So you scapegoated Jerome Henderson. Why does this team, they never get any sort of advantage? Never get any sort of advantage on defense. What are we doing? Are we disguising coverages? Are we switching up man and zone? What are we doing? We're doing the same thing we're doing that a team can exploit what we do on defense, and we'll just stand there and continue to do the same thing over and over again. And teams will continue to run the same play against us like they did against the Broncos, and they'll run the same run against us like they did against us when we were playing against the Eagles. They run the same toss up the middle of the field and to the outside like they did for the 49ers today. And there's nothing that Shane Bowen has to combat this. We know the linebackers are slow to flow. We know they're slow. What are we doing about that? What are we doing to give any player, every single time the Giants make a defensive play? Is it because, oh, they really confused the quarterback there, or they really did this, or they really did that, or they were really disciplined right? There's none of that. Every single time the Giants make a defensive play is because Brian Burns does something superhuman. Like Brian Burns swats that ball away on that screen to Christian McCaffrey. That's Brian Burns. That's all Brian Burns. Or he just runs past a guy, dips past a guy for a sack. That's literally the plays that we made today were because of individual heroic efforts. Individual heroic efforts. And when that didn't happen, the 49ers scored. Literally, we get into long. We get it. We today we were in second and third and longs multiple times today, and they consistently, besides one time, I was surprised, I was shocked. Besides one time, they got the first down every single time. Shane Bowen needs to be fired. Yeah, I hate to do it, and some people get mad. I mean, listen, man. Shane Bowen needs to go. And I'm not letting Dex get away with this because Dex had all of this attitude and the dude always has all this, the nerve of Dexter Lawrence at the end of every game for him to have an attitude with reporters for asking him questions, for him to be mad at reporters for asking him questions about what happened here or what was this, and for him to be mad at reporters for doing their job when he's not doing his is crazy to me. You're not doing your job. Reporters are trying to do their job, and you're mad that they're trying to do their job. People, you don't think you should have to answer for the fact that today you got blown off the ball and allowed Christian McCaffrey to run into the end zone? You don't think you should have to answer for that? You don't think you should have to answer for the fact that you're getting blown off the ball and guys are running right up the middle? You know, you're and these aren't these are single men blocking them. This isn't a double team here. Because Carl Banks said people don't respect you. He gets doubled a lot, sure, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, these weren't double teams where he was getting blown off the ball. Of course, he got blown off the ball on double teams too, but these were singles that I'm talking about. This was one man, smaller than him, probably by about 25, 30 pounds, driving him off the ball, and he's just moving backwards like he's a sled. So, I mean, listen, Dex, at this point, if Dexter Lawrence, if we get to, when's the trade deadline? What is it, next week? If we have another game before the trade deadline and he looks like this, maybe you try to move him. Maybe you try to see what's going on. Because I was a guy, I was waiting out and I was like, okay, Dex probably is injured or he's probably this or he's probably that. But it's just starting to look like this dude is giving up. He came in bigger than he ever has before in training camp, coming off the injury. And it just seems like, is he giving up? Is he done? Is he done with the Giants? Is he done with football? I don't know. But he's not the same. He's not playing with the same type of energy. He's not playing with the same type of intensity. He's not playing with the same strength at all. So, maybe you see what you can get. If someone wants to give up a first round for Dex, I guarantee you this guy's going to go to another team. And within a week, he'll look like Dex of last year. And people can say, oh, he's upset because of the losing. If Dexter Lawrence played like how he played last year, the Giants would have at least 2 or 3. Where was he against the Broncos? Where was he against the Eagles when he was getting blown off the football? You think those games can't change against the Broncos and the Cowboys? You think if Dexter Lawrence blows through the line of scrimmage and makes a play that we don't have more wins? You're sick of losing, but you're a part of the losing. So that's what I got to say about Dex. Today, Jackson Dart looked okay. He looked okay. Not spectacular, not bad. He looked okay. Not really many turnover type of worthy plays. 3 total touchdowns for him today. It is what it is there. I mean, that's fine. But the play calling today was atrocious. Way too many draw plays from Mike Kafka to start drives off, where it's almost like we know that a draw play is coming at the beginning of the drive in the red zone. Every single time the Giants have gotten the ball after a turnover, after a huge play by the defense, after a huge play from special teams, they get in a shotgun. and they it's a draw play every single time, and the defense always shuts it down because they know it's coming. They're just always just so convinced that they're going to catch the defense off guard with this draw play that never works, puts us behind the sticks, makes us lose a down, and we have to call a timeout in that end of that first half because we're just running time off the clock. Like it's like you're just giving up. Like, oh, if Singletary gets 6-7 yards here, or if Tracy gets 6-7 yards here, then we can really open up our playbook. Why not draw back and throw the ball on first down? Um, the play calling again, I did not like most of the game, if not all of it. And Brian Dable just has to get this team ready to play. The team is never ready to play. We never are looking at these games thinking that we had the advantage there. Our guys knew what was coming. Our guys knew what to expect. They knew exactly, the types of advantages we had when we had Tom Coughlin are just not there. Our guys are never prepared. We run that country club training camp. Guys are just chilling. They're just going out there on vibes. And again, when people make plays, it's because they made a great individual play. On defense mostly. On offense in past weeks, they've had some nice play designs. The past 2 weeks, not so much. Not so much. So I mean, this is looking like it's only going to continue to get worse until we can get a Debo and Flott back. Because again, if we have bad players out there, if we have players that aren't winning and making great defensive plays individually, they are going to be a sieve. Because literally almost every single time we didn't make an amazing defensive play individually, they picked up a first down. And in the NFL, I don't care if you have a fifth string guy, if you got a seventh string guy, I don't care who you got out there in the NFL, the defense has to play better than this. Because if not for two incredible defensive plays from Brian Burns, this is probably a 40, add 14 to 34. It's probably a 48-point game that we give up. So it's only getting worse. And Dable just cannot collapse like he is right now because he's going to get fired mid-season. But I tell you one thing, 86 points in 6 quarters for Shane Bowen, that's fireable. That's fireable. They continue to give up more points after that. That should be fireable. I'm sorry. It just should be. We better not see Shane Bowen out here again, but we probably will. We'll probably have to ride this out. But it's our players on the field, even with injuries, are much better defensively than this. Offensively, you're missing some guys. It's fine. It is what it is. Still put up 24, even though part of it was in garbage time. But I just think our team overall is underperforming on a weekly basis. And it's just a shame. I just really hope that we can get this together around Jackson Dart. But I think it's very clear to me that Brian Dable is not going to be here next year. I don't care what happens the rest of the year. It's just very clear he can't close out games when we have the lead. And he also just can't. If he goes against a coach like Kyle Shanahan, he's never going to win. Never going to even compete with the guy. So I'll wrap this up here. You guys enjoy the rest of your football Sunday. And here's to health for the rest of the season. A nice draft pick and some exciting football from the quarterback. So another 3 touchdowns for him today. Padding the stats pretty well. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, man.